Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Learning to Live. I'm Dustin, back again. It's so good to hear from all you. Today, we're going to talk about something that really has been on my heart lately. As most of you know, I'm a psychiatric professional. I'm a psychiatric nurse. I work on a child and adolescent psychiatric unit. It has been just overwhelming and on my heart. What can I do to make a difference? These are extremely stressful and scary times at this point in time, parents and children. And as the psychiatric beds just continue to fill up in the child and adolescent unit, I had to look to Learning to Live and to my heart and just kind of search all my resources and everything I know and try to figure out, how can I help those out there? What advice can I give? And I've just been kind of ruminating about it, and it's been going over and over in my mind. And at about 2:30 a.m. last night, I just woke up. Alert. That's what was in my head. Alert. So I thought, what does that mean? And as it slowly, as I slowly kind of progress through it, I can see ALERT is the acronym I'm to share with you. We need to be alert as parents. And the acronym that developed, I truly believe, is a recipe for success in helping our children through not just this time, but all times in history. And it encompasses everything. So many times people do say things like, what do I do if my child's on drugs? What if they're hanging with the wrong crowd? What if they're starting to become overly depressed or suicidal or self-harming or all these things? You need professional help with a lot of those things, but the ALERT acronym helps us to know when we need to step it up a bit, when we need to figure out what is our next step. How do we get to that point where we reach out and find either resources that are accessible to us or some professional help? So we're going to go through the ALERT acronym that I came up with, that I truly believe is a recipe for success for parents. So I hope you find it as helpful as I have within the last 24 hours, and discussing it with my son and my wife there. They are on board too. And it's really what most people do, I think, a lot of the time, but just having a conscious effort to use this acronym as a tool to help us, to guide us through these times, and how to touch base and be mindful about our relationship with our children. So the first letter, of course, of ALERT is A. And A is for awareness. We need to be aware of our children. We need to be aware of ourselves. How are we presenting at home during these stressful times? Did I lose my job? Is our relationship starting to be strained? That will affect our child. Also be aware of environmental factors. What's going on with my child? How is he coping with he or she not being able to go to school every day, and this new environment of Zoom meetings and limited time with big groups of friends, and maybe the friends that are accessible at this point in time aren't the normal friends, and just being aware of kind of what's going on with our child. And if there's some red flags, if there's some things that you're aware of in their life that you feel needs to be discussed and kind of taken to that next level, the next step of our ALERT process, we need to use the next ALERT process when we reach out to our child. And the L of ALERT is love. If we're aware and we're concerned about some things, some environmental things, or just some manifestations that are different, our child manifesting different than they have before, aware and starting to maybe get a little concerned, we need to approach it with love. Love is the only way to approach these things, to go about it not in an accusatory manner at all, but just touch base with your child. And at first there might be refusal, and if it's something that you become aware of that's a big concern or a threat right away, love doesn't always have to be passive. That's one thing I think that we forget sometimes. Love can be very, very assertive, but do it in a loving way. Don't do it in an angry way or a frustrated way or a confused way. Put all your resources together, have your mind in place before you walk in to have that conversation, and have that conversation in love with your child. The next thing we're going to do after we approach it with love is we got to evaluate what is going on. Once we become aware, we got to evaluate what is going on with our child. Has there been changes in their diet? Has there been changes in their hygiene, changes in their mood, changes in the people that they're associating with, changes in their language? Are they starting to use a slang, or are they starting to be more defensive? You know, and I name all these things. Changes in their sleep. Have their sleep patterns changed? Are they staying up all night? All these things can be red flags that, you know, we need to touch base and see what's going on with our child. And just having that conversation and being open is so vitally important to the success of the relationship and the safety of our children. And I know you guys will all do it. Other thing that people forget about evaluating, the E of alert, is that sometimes when we're evaluating things, what seemed like good behavior, if it's still a change in behavior, is something that can be concerning. I'll give you an example. All of a sudden, our child is deciding to volunteer more. That's a good thing, and that volunteering is a good thing, but if it's out of his character or her character to do this, we need to evaluate, why are they volunteering? Who are they volunteering with? What's their behavior like when they come back from volunteering? Same with studying. You know, we're always, you know, of course, education is high on our priority, but sometimes, you know, a change in behavior as far as they haven't spent time in the library after school and all of a sudden every day they're in the library after school. Well, you know, who are they studying with? You know, what are they doing on those breaks in between the study time? We really need to evaluate what's going on. And any change in behavior, change from the baseline of our child, is something to be concerned about and something to evaluate. After we've evaluated, we come to our R of alert, which is respond. When we evaluate, sometimes there's a little bit of a confrontation. We have to question our child about what's going on. What are these changes? Why are you hanging out with a different crowd? Why are you, you know, defensive where you were not defensive before? Or why are you overly happy? That's another thing. Too much joy or animation in comparison to not have been that past is something concerning also. So a change in behavior, that's just very much a red flag that we need to be alerted with. But to go back to the R, respond supportive. I think this response step is the most important step. When you have that conversation about your concerns and the change in behavior, and your child might be feeling attacked or accused or all these things, and maybe rightfully so, but still respond to what they need. When they react to you, if they're defensive, say, hey, we all make mistakes. We can move forward. Help me help you. Help me help you. What can we do? This is not for you to be in trouble or anything else. We want you to be supported and fully supported in this. It is so vital that we come to an agreement on what you need from me. Help me help you. And then respond to whatever they tell you they need. As much as possible, meet that need. Give them what they need. And finally, the T of treatment, the T of alert is treatment. So treatment, you know, people always jump right to hospitalization and all that thing. That's not what we're talking about here. You know, you have the conversation, you support your child, you become aware, you talk in love, you evaluate what's going on, you respond appropriately. The treatment could be as simple as just setting aside time to talk, time to touch base every day. We always go to hospitalization first. And if need be, please get your child to, if it's serious, get your child to the appropriate place to get them the help they need. But maybe it's just talking. To treat, the Latin root word that treat comes from is trahere, which means to pull or draw, which I really think is beautiful, because just pull them and draw them close to you. Let them know that you're there to support them. Let them know that you are 100% behind what they need, and that you're going to support them, and you're going to both move forward, and you're going to learn ways too to be even more supportive in the future. With that being said, that's all there is to it. That's what I got for you, folks. Be alert, be aware, come with love, evaluate, respond, and treat. It's as easy as that. But this acronym can really help you move forward and be successful and keep your family safe. With that being said, as I always say, please tune in again, subscribe down below, hit the little bell. We need more and more subscribers, and please comment any videos you want to see, any questions you have, please give us some comments. Help us help you. How about that? And be strong, be brave, be courageous, and have a good day. Thanks for tuning in.